Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another video. I hope you don't mind these kind of repetitive videos of us working on the 33.4, but I think this might be the last video before the tune tomorrow. We're gonna do the fuel pump right away. Then after the fuel pump, we're gonna start kind of putting things together back in the engine bay and tidying things up, install the sensors for the link ECU, then put the link ECU in, and then we're done. And then tomorrow we're going to get it tuned at STF. So it's gonna be fun. I've kind of spent the morning relaxing, sleeping in, played a few games of PUBG, got so close to a chicken dinner, it's not funny, but then just, have you ever gotten like where you just get pinned in the worst situation possible, where there's like teams all around you and you're stuck in the middle and you're the first one to die? Anyways, that happened. It was top 5, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get started. Enough talk about that, let's work on the car. Alright, so in the 33, this is where your fuel pump sits, down in here into the tank. And then this is like your battery assembly and things like that. Now, before I do anything fuel related, I don't want to do a hoonigan and nearly set myself on fire in the car. Oh shit! Oh, shit. So I'm going to disconnect the ground here, tuck that off so the battery's not connected to anything. And I may even just tape that up so that even if it does fall down from where I tuck it up, it's not going to spark or anything like that. Because the last thing I want is, after all this work we've done on the car, for the whole thing to go up in flames, and then probably the house as well. I don't think the landlords would like that. Okay, so we've gotten the cover off now, exposing the fuel hat or the tank hat, whatever you want to call it. And what you need to do is you need to remove all these hoses, but you have to be very delicate. This is a plastic hat, a plastic top, and if you reef on these too hard, you will break them and then you can't do anything. So this is the breather, this is the outlet, and this is the inlet. So this will be fuel tank return, and this will be going up to the engine, to the injectors. Now, I really recommend you mark these so that you don't get them mixed up when you go to put them back on. So I'll probably be doing that, and then I'll show you guys how to remove this big screw cap thing here. Sometimes you can get them with your hands, but normally, because it's old, plastic, brittle, and everything kind of expands and contracts over time and locks up, you have to use a screwdriver and a hammer. So I'll get started on that, but before I do that, I'm probably going to remove the rear strut brace, because that's right in my way of getting my arms in there, and it's going to be a pain in the butt real quick. So we'll do that, and then we'll pull the pump out. Okay, so I forgot to hit record as I was pulling the pump out, and I did get it out, and looking at it now, it does look like it's an aftermarket Nismo pump. It's got this brand new regulator here, brand new hosing all on it. The pump itself looks brand spanking new, and like even the little, I don't know, filter catch thing isn't too dirty. So this thing looks like an aftermarket Nismo pump, like 255 litre per hour type. Anyways, I'm going to pull it out of this cage and the rubber mounts and look for part numbers to see if I can match it up with anything. But I'm pretty excited, because if this is already a Nismo upgraded one, then we scored there. So anyways, I'm going to pull that out, check for part numbers, and then we'll get back to you. Alright, man, this is funny. So this is a complete Nismo upgraded fuel pump kit for the 33 GTST. I did a bit of checking online and found here that on Nengun they have the listing with all the pieces, and I looked at the part number for it on the Nismo catalog, and this actually comes with it, this piece here, because the factory pump has metal piping that comes down here and the pump sits about here. So this is definitely the Nismo one. I checked the part number on it under the rubber. I had to lift up the screwdriver to see the part number, and this flows at 4.6 litres per minute, which is 276 litres per hour, which is actually more than what the Tomei one does. So we're going to leave this one in there. We're going to put it all back together, put it back in the tank. But man, it's kind of funny how, like, you know, you buy a car, you don't really get a mods list sometime from the previous owner, especially considering I bought this from the auction house here in Tokyo. So kind of nice little surprises here and there. Also some bad surprises here and there, as you know, when buying a second-hand car. But anyways, I'm going to put this all back together, back in the tank, and then we'll get on to tidying up the engine bay and the link ECU. Okay, so we got the fuel pump all back in there, and I just connected the battery and turned on the ignition to see if I could hear it prime, and it definitely did. So we're all good there. Now the only thing we got left to do now is put all of this back together and tidy everything up. So I'll get started on that, throw you guys on the time lapse, and we'll see if we can smash this all out. Okay, so I've pretty much got everything back together now. While I was putting the J-pipe in, I realized that I forgot to put the air temperature sensor in, so I've put that in there, which you can probably see there. So what's going to happen is I've got a plug that I need to wire into that'll go to the ECU. And then obviously I still have the airflow meter sitting here because that connects to this type of pod filter. Eventually in the future we'll change that. We'll make a custom alloy piece that comes up to a normal like pod filter, that it doesn't have that weird kind of 4-bolt flange on there. So we'll sort that out in the future, maybe even at SDF tomorrow. And check this out, all I need to get the turbo connected to the stock intercooler piping is literally just another silicon coupler and a tiny little piece of 2.5 inch intercooler piping. So we'll sort that out as well at SDF tomorrow. But for the time being, I need to get this car idling. So that means I need to get the link ECU in there and powered up. Now for me to do that, obviously I've got the air temperature sensor in, but now I'm going to put the Lambda kit in, which is pretty much the wideband and the Lambda to CAN. So what this does is this little box here turns it into like a digital CAN network signal, which is what plugs into the ECU. So I got to mount all of this in the wideband port, which is actually conveniently already installed on my car. If we slide under here, you can probably see it right there next to the jack stand. Hang on, let's get closer. Let's slide a little bit further more under, and you guys can see it right there is where the Lambda, the wideband sensor is going to go. As well as I'm also going to put a spacer in so that that bracket fits the exhaust and supports the cat up. So we'll do all that now. I'll set you guys up on the time lapse. We're nearly done, guys. Almost home run time, and we'll have this thing idling. Hopefully, I need to put these settings in for the new injectors. And it's just a base map tune, and then I'll be able to idle, kind of move this thing around a little bit, and we're all good for the tune tomorrow. So I'll throw you guys back on the time lapse and we'll do that now. Alright, so let me show you guys what I'm dealing with right here. These 6 screws that Nissan put on the bottom of the ECU, they covered them with solder, and you can't just undo them easily without melting all the solder first. It's really difficult to get it off. I'm having a lot of trouble. So I'm going to try and use a jet lighter to heat it up enough with the screwdriver and try and get it out that way. It's probably a bad idea. I don't really mind if the ECU breaks, but I would like to keep it so I can sell it, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna pull it off, try and use the lighter method with the soldering iron at the same time. Hopefully that helps, because what's happening is the aluminium wall, like the chassis that this thing sits in, is it's absorbing all the heat and dissipating it really quick, too fast for my soldering iron to keep up, so the solder won't melt properly. All right, we'll give it a shot, see how we go. Okay, so I did get those screws out of the board, although the board has definitely been sacrificed, as you can see. One thing I have to say is, like, this really is a silly design. Like, I really don't know why Nissan thought that they could do that by, you know, to make it earth better. They could have just run an earthing strap off the actual PCB to the side of the chassis of the case. Makes no sense that they did that. Probably more of a security thing than anything else to deter people from modding them. But yeah, anyways, got them all out. They did rip off the earthing pads on the PCB, so this PCB is definitely stuffed and can't be used again. But anyways, I might just give it to Oka-chan. He might be able to use it for spare parts. Anyways, I'm going to go get the link board now, and we'll put it into this frame and get it all in there, because we do need to modify and drill out a few holes and whatnot. So we'll go do that now. Okay, so we got the link installed now. I even put the link sticker on the case. I can't actually screw the case 100% together yet until it's in the car, and that's because I need to plug in my accessories loom here before I put the lid on and screw it all together, as well as I do need to get the can plug plugged in there too, which goes to the wideband sensor under the car. And obviously I also need to plug in my map sensor vacuum line. So there's a lot still, I guess, that you need to plug into this to be able to put this on, which can be a little bit frustrating, but that's why a lot of the stuff you get from Link have these quick connects, so you can still disconnect it all and just take the whole ECU out of the car. But this isn't going to really be coming out of the car at all in its lifetime, so I'm okay doing it that way. But otherwise, tomorrow morning we'll slap this in, plug everything in and screw it all together and put it in the car. And then we should be good to set it up on the computer and do some idling and leak checks and stuff like that. And then we'll get it ready for the tune. Alright guys, so another day working on the 33.4, and we are nearly there. Tomorrow at 12 PM, Denny picks me up with the tow truck, and we're going to SDF to tune the car. After that, me and May, if everything's okay and everything works out alright, me and May will be packing up and heading to Fukushima to EBC Circuit to go check it out and do maybe a shakedown at Drift Mitsuri. But otherwise, tomorrow morning we do have to do some final touch-ups. We obviously got to put the link ECU in and plug everything in. I need to wire 4 wires. 2 wires need to go to the air temperature sensor. 2 wires need to go to the electronic boost solenoid. I've decided to still use a boost controller, but I'm actually just going to wire the solenoid directly into the link ECU. That way we can have full control when we're tuning it. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I think I mentioned that we're going to do the last part of like the intercooler piping and stuff that goes to the compressor housing. We're going to do that at SDF tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. Super awesome day. Found out we had a Nismo pump in there all along. Anyways, I'm rambling on now. I don't really know what else to say. So thanks heaps for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out all my social media down in the description. And if you want to send me some cool slap stickers to slap on the car, then please do. My PO box is in the description as well. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Ja mata ne.